Hey, thank you for checking in with yourself and reminding you to take time for you. So, you've been asking lately, how do I stop playing small? Is that correct? Well, here's what I would suggest. But remember, I'm not a therapist, hey? I'm just a person like you, learning and unlearning every day. Okay, so here's my take. When we start something new, whether it's a business, a relationship, a creative project, a dream we've been holding super close to our hearts, we often shrink it down before it's even born, especially in a conversation with a group of friends, especially people who are dear and near to you. We call it, you know what, I'm just being realistic, or I'm going to do this, but I'm just testing the waters. But often, lingering underneath those lines is something called fear. Fear of failing, fear of being seen, fear of stepping into a version of ourselves that feels too big, too bold, too much. And here's the paradox. When we play it small, we're not protecting ourselves from failure. We're practicing failure in advance. You're cutting yourself short before the world has even had the chance to meet your thing, your gift, you. So let's slow this down and ask yourself, what is the vision I truly hold in my heart if I strip away the doubt, the comparison, the voice that says I can't? What lingers there in the quiet when it's just you and your ideas? Because thinking big doesn't mean you will do it now, you will do it tomorrow. Thinking big means you let yourself see the castle, even if today all you're laying is that first brick. The overwhelm comes when we confuse the vision with the first step. Here's something I've learned. When you set your compass to that larger horizon, when you dare to admit that you really want it, you start to unlock doors you didn't even know was there. Collaborations appear, opportunities unfold, resources, synchronicities, things you didn't even imagine could pop up and be there for you. They just appear like magic. Not because you forced it, but because you stopped shrinking. You let the frequency of your dream be felt. You let the universe catch up with your dreams, or the other way around. You catching up with what the universe has in store for you. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But Anna, what if I'm not ready? Like, what if it's just too much? What if I step into it, these opportunities come, and it just feels overwhelming, and I actually start doubting my own ability? Well, my take on this is you don't have to be ready for the whole thing. You just have to be ready for the next aligned step. I'm gonna say it again. You don't have to be ready to climb Kilimanjaro. What do you do before you go into a mountain? You prep for it. You exercise. You strengthen the muscles that you would need in order to take those steps up to the mountain. The step that carries the DNA of your bigger vision. That might be sending the email, making the cold call, registering the business, writing the first page of your pitch deck. Whatever it is, it's small in size but powerful in energy because it's born from expansion, not contraction. And let me remind you, thinking big is not arrogant. I'm sure, well, I've definitely experienced this. In a room where you're speaking bold, you're speaking confidently, often it changes the energy in the room. And sometimes it changes it into a space where you start feeling uncomfortable. Maybe I'm talking too much about myself. Maybe I'm too confident in the execution of my business ideas. Maybe. Well, guess what? You only feel that way when the room is filled with people that are not aligned with your energy. What that means is get out of the room because the right people will be aligned and will be sent to you at the right time. When you rise, you don't rise alone. You create space for others to rise too. Check your energy and let it lead you. I'll share something personal here. Every time I have thought small, whether it was in my music, in my creative projects, or even building a business, I ended up frustrated. Not because I failed, but because deep down, I knew I had dimmed my own light. I had said no to the fullness of what was possible. I knowingly did that. And that no always weighs heavier than the risks of trying. But the moments I've thought bigger, they scared me. Oh my gosh, they scared me. They stretched me. But they also unlocked experiences and connections that I could never have scripted on my own. That's the magic of daring to dream beyond the box. Wait till I tell you about the Johnny Cash experience, which was one of my really truest and biggest manifestations to date. But here's a practice for you in the meantime. I'd love for you to try the following. Take a piece of paper and write down your vision in its largest possible form. Not the version that feels safe or the one you think other people will approve of, the version that feels alive in your bones, the wild, the generous, the expansive vision. Then, from that page, circle one action you can take this week. Just one. And make it tangible. Make it simple. But let it be infused with that larger dream. That way, even your smallest step carries the vibration of greatness. I want you to hear this. Your venture, your dream, deserves to be seen in its true size. You deserve to step into it fully, not half-measured, not watered down. So don't build the shed when your soul already sees the castle. If you've been shrinking your dream, if you've been convincing yourself it's safer to play small, then this is your reminder. You're allowed to expand. You're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to dream bigger than what feels comfortable. Start small in action, yes, but never start small in vision. Until next time, this is me, Anna, Wolf in the Cabin. Remember to subscribe and share the link to people who you think this might resonate with. Thank you for taking time for yourself. Till next time, I'll be here to answer your call.